What's going on YouTube? Welcome to iStuff Gaming, and today I'm going to be giving you a character guide on the god Ullr. Now before I get into the guide, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you'd like to keep up with any future content or would like to watch me live on Twitch get mad at these randoms, I'll be leaving both of those links in the description below. Now, there is a specific reason why I want to do Ullr, an Ullr guide. To me, he is one of the hardest characters in the game, but not because his skills are so hard to understand. It's mostly because his skills are skill shots. Basically, his abilities are all skill shots, and building this character can get away from a lot of people because I see this character be built wrong a lot. So I'm going to be go ahead and give you the optimal build, items, how his abilities work, and all that good jazz. Now let's go ahead and move on to his passive and abilities. Alright, so to understand Ullr, you have to understand two things. One, this character does not have an ultimate. He is stance switched based. So that can be really daunting for a lot of players because for two reasons. Most people like using their ultimate to engage in all their team fights, or they like using their ultimate for a getaway, and this character does not have one, so that can be really daunting. So before we get into his abilities, we're actually going to go over his passive and his ultimate first, or rather his fourth ability. So his passive is called Weapon Master. When Ullr uses an ability in either stance, his cooldowns in the opposite stance are reduced by 1 second. It's really good. And his ultimate, Ullr changes stances. For his ranged, which is his bow, Ullr uses his U-bow, removing disarms and gaining additional attack speed. So this character actually cannot be disarmed when he switches to his stance. And he actually has lo and behold, a melee stance. Really cool, where he uses both of his axes. So, Ullr uses his axes, removing disarms and gaining additional physical lifesteal. So, this can come in clutch sometimes, you know, when you're in lane and you need to get a little bit of extra lifesteal going so you can stay a little longer. So, it can be useful, but you're really not going to be beating this stance much at all. So, to discuss Ullr's abilities, I'm going to be identifying his first stance as his bow stance and his second stance as his melee stance. So, for Ullr's first ability in his bow stance, it's known as Bladed Arrow. Ullr fires a bladed arrow in a line, dealing damage and passing through all targets it hits. Let me go ahead and show you what that looks like. As you see, it actually does go pretty decently far. About, I would say about full 60. So this move can go pretty far, but don't let this area around the ability fool you. This is actually a pretty decently hard ability to hit. Let me go ahead and show you what that looks like. Really straightforward. This is going to be his main clear. Now, as for Ullr's melee first ability, it's known as Thrown Axe. Really basic. Ullr throws an axe in a line, hitting a single target, dealing damage and stunning it. So, this ability will not pass through minions. It will stop at the first thing hit. This does include minions and gods. So, learning how to hit this ability is extremely crucial for Ullr, because if you hit this ability, you're basically going to kill the person that's in front of you if they don't have beats. So let me go ahead and show you what this looks like. Really straightforward, really simple, and a staple for Ullr. Now for Ullr's second ability in his bow stance, Ullr gains bonus physical power for 5 seconds, and then while in melee stance, Ullr gains physical bonus bonus movement speed. Sorry, they flipped on me. It's 45 physical power and then an extra 40% movement speed. So that's a lot that goes for him once it's maxed out. Finally, we have Ullr's third ability in his bow stance, which is known as Hail of Arrows. Ullr fires a volley at his target location, dealing damage. This ability is also pretty decently hard to hit. Learning how to hit this ability can come really handy though, because as you can see, it goes really far. Like, really far. But it does have a pretty decently long casting time, and when it comes back down, so let me go ahead and show you what it looks like. As you can see, it comes out pretty slow, so knowing when to use this ability or where to aim this ability can be a little daunting. And then finally, in Ullr's melee stance, it's known as Glory Bound. Ullr leaps to his target location, dealing damage and AoE on arrival. This is going to be your run move. It can be an engaged move. I wouldn't use this as an engage. I would mostly focus on using it as a get out tool. However, if you're just looking for that last hit and you're not trying to rely on his third stance, this little leap can be really useful, especially since you have this little movement speed increase that can get you out of danger in a lot of situations. Let me go ahead and show you. Really decent move. Alright, now here comes the hard part about Ullr, his game plan. Now, you need to be able to switch stances incredibly fast. Because what you're going to be doing, you're going to be hitting your buff. Even though it does last for 5 seconds, you're going to be hitting your buff, switching, throwing your axe, getting the stun, right? Then, you're going to want to switch back, hit your 3, as close to them as possible, so you can be right here. And then, basic attack them. And then if they try to get away, hit them with your 1. Now, you could do it a different way. You could hit your buff, switch, stun, and then use your 1 instead for more distance, and then use this to confirm kills. However, hitting this ability over this ability is better, in my opinion, and can get you in better positioning. So let me go ahead and show you what it looks like. I'm not perfect, but let me show you what it looks like. Just like that. Now, that's a lot easier said than done. I understand that. But that's something you're going to have to learn how to do with this character. Because with a lack of an ult, you need to be able to hit all your abilities at once. Let me go ahead and show you one more time. That's the other way you can do it. That's your go-to combo. You need to learn how to be able to do that. Last but not least, we're going to be going over leveling path and what to be building on this character first. Now, even though Stacks is more expensive, and you're gonna want a Hunter's Blessing for most hunters, I would recommend getting Transcendence as soon as possible. So, slap on this T2 item right here. And I don't mention this in a lot of my videos, but since you're going to be playing a character like this, you're going to want beads. Because people are going to be focusing you and hitting you with as much CC as possible, so you don't hit them with CC. You're going to want beads. And the first ability you're going to get, obviously, you're going to get your first ability. It has this little line move. It does maximum amounts of damage. It's the best for your clearing. And then you're going to want to get your third ability next. Now, here is something that I do want to talk about with this character before I move on. If you use your abilities to clear, you're going to be struggling in the fights. That's just fact. Because you're going to be leveling up your first ability over everything. Right? You're going to be leveling your first ability. Right? So, if you use this to clear, you're not going to have a lot of your damage. This character is mostly for the mid, kind of early, kind of mid game. Because of how much damage you can do, but you need to understand that if you use your abilities to clear. Now, let's continue. As you're leveling, you're going to get your third ability next, and then you're going to get your second ability. Now, as you level up, and you put points into your abilities, right, and you finally get your quote-unquote ultimate ability. While you're leveling, you're going to be putting all your points into your first ability, then your third, then your second. Your ultimate ability only gives you lifesteal and attack speed, which you don't really need. The passive is great, but you're going to be building Crusher right after, and you're still going to be building Ninja Tabi. So you're going to have plenty of attack speed, so you're not going to need your ult. You're not going to need to put points into this. Now, personally, what I like to do is that once I get 3 points into my first ability, I like putting 2 more into my third. That way, if I clear with my first ability, I'll have my third ability to help me kill. Right? So, it's just all about what you like. I see people upgrade the third ability more, and then upgrading the first ability next, or I've seen people upgrade the first ability and then the second ability for the extra physical power. It's literally just up to you. However, always level up. For me, you always get your first ability first. And that just about covers it for Ullr. Now, Ullr is a very difficult character. You can watch this guide all you want, and I really do appreciate it, but this character is going to take a lot of practice. You're not just going to pick up this character and do amazing with this character. It's going to take a lot of time to get used to aiming his third ability, to be able to get used to hitting his stun on reaction, to be able to know when to use your first ability to clear, to know when to go in, when to go out, and especially when those team fights start happening in those conquest matches, who to focus on the most. Because I guarantee you, if you try to focus your abilities on the tank, you are going to be useless. But this character is extremely rewarding because this character can be flexed in a lot of places. He can be an excellent mid, he can be an excellent jungler, and he's still one of the best hunters just because of how hard he hits and how hard he pub stomps. But like I said, this character is going to take a lot of time and a lot of practice, and just like how I'm doing, you're going to be spending a lot of time here just getting used to his abilities. Now, if you liked the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any other questions regarding this character, or would like to request a character guide on a character that I haven't covered yet, go ahead and leave it in the comment section below. Without further ado, I'll catch y'all later.